Well, it is time now for our latest Bloomberg West series, Bioengineering the Senses, a closer look at the technology on the frontiers of medical science. Today, we're looking at the machine behind physicist Stephen Hawking and how smartphone technology is helping him communicate.
Medicine has not been able to cure me, so I rely on technology to help me communicate and live.
That vital system that Professor Stephen Hawking relies on has recently got an upgrade. Tasks that used to take 3 to 4 minutes, like opening a Word document, now take around 10 seconds. Intel has been working with Hawking for decades, and the latest upgrade was over 2 years in the making.
So we completely changed the way that he's interfacing with these aspects of the system to have him not rely on the mouse. So based on whatever he happens to be doing, we would surface the most logical things that he might want to do.
That also applies to Hawking's text-to-speech system. UK startup SwiftKey, whose software runs predictive text apps on smartphones, has doubled Hawking's speech rate. It considers what Hawking was last writing, whether there were any errors, and then tries to predict which character he might choose next. To do that, the SwiftKey program has to learn how Hawking writes and speaks by analyzing dozens of his documents, some published, others not.
The tests we ran showed that of a given body of text made up of a certain number of characters, Professor Hawking would actually only have to enter around 15 to 20% of those characters, and the rest would be inferred.
Now here's the crazy part. Everything Stephen Hawking does on his computer is triggered by one muscle in his cheek. An infrared sensor detects when his cheek muscle moves up, just the way our smartphones can sense when it's close to the face. Future versions of this technology are aiming to take a bigger range of movement into account.
But he can actually today say yes and no by moving, his eyebrows and by pulling his mouth. So one of the things that we've been working on is using essentially a camera system to detect these different movements. So now he can, for example, undo things by saying no, rather than having to go and manipulate the whole screen to get to a backspace button, for example.
Intel is even trying to develop brain control interfaces, which could help people who can no longer move any muscles at all. That won't necessarily happen to Stephen Hawking, but with the market forecast to reach $55 billion in 2016, it represents the next leap for assistive technologies.